Hello and welcome back to Kiki's Tarot Cafe. If you are new here, you basically meditate on a pile, select that pile, and that'll be your reading. Go ahead and look at the timestamps below. I did want to say, I don't believe in like a set in stone future, so just because this says no doesn't mean it'll definitively be no. And also I realized that there are very specific messages in these piles, so if you asked about, a love situation and you got a pile that was about a career, either that pile is, clearly not the answer to your question, but it's also possible that there are other messages in there for you, even though you weren't looking into those. So just go ahead and be mindful when selecting your piles. If you get the answer no, and the rest of the reading has nothing to do with what you asked, then that probably isn't the answer to your question. So consider that. I'm just gonna go over the little pieces here. These are characters from Cardcaptors. We have Sakura on the first pile. We have Shaoran on the second pile. We have Tomoyo on the third. We have Kiro on the fourth. And then we have Spinel. Or maybe it's Spinal, but I'm pretty sure it's Spinel on the fifth pile. So go ahead and meditate on which pile you want and then select your timestamp, and I will see you at your timestamps. Hello, those of you that selected pile number 1 with Sakura, this is your reading. These are kind of quick, so just kind of gonna run through them. I don't want to rush or anything, I just don't want to say more than is needed, Get the message across without the fluffy bullshit. So, I think this one is about a career. So if that is not what you were asking about, consider a different pile. But yeah, so what I see here, this is your past, right? This is your answer, and then these are contributing factors. So in the past, I see that at the beginning of the situation, you were kind of happy with it. And then your work is probably depressing you now. There might even be toxic or jealous individuals there, but it looks like the money's what's keeping you there. Yeah, I do see jealous people. So, depending on what your question is, right? Like, if you're like, should I leave this job? Then yes, you should. But if your question was phrased as like, is this the job I'm gonna stay at forever? Then the answer is no, So there's no really like yes or no, depending on how you phrase the question. So just take the information in and then see how that relates to your question. So yeah, you started off good. It might be kind of depressing you now. I see the money keeping you, and I also see that it's a part-time job or like a part-time situation. I don't think that when you took this job into account, you were really thinking, oh, this is like my career goal, and if it was what you were thinking, that's definitely not what was planned. This is at least from your spiritual team's perspective, I would argue. Yeah, because it's not like you're making crazy money here, You might be making more money than like the other similar jobs. For example, if you're working as a barista and you look at other baristas, you're probably being paid more than them, but you're not necessarily being paid a lot, is my point. But I do see that it's the money that's kind of keeping you there. But yeah, it's just like a toxic environment. To the point where you might even be feeling physically ill from it, because this is a doctor's appointment. You might even have some other situation related to a doctor, but like it might be like just such a crappy mental situation that it's starting to affect your physical health. But if that's not the case, it's a disappointment essentially. Like you thought it was going to be really good, and then now you're just saying like, wow, this is actually kind of a trash situation. And here we have the 9 of Diamonds, which means it's the money, basically the money that's keeping you there. But you can always find like, you know, other jobs that aren't as shitty. I mean, if it's worth the pay cut to you, that might be, you know, a personal thing to decide, but essentially that's the situation I see at the moment. You have the King of Wands in reverse. So the King of Wands in reverse is kind of like a tyrant is what I picture. Like the King of Wands is a good leader, but in reverse it's kind of like all the negative traits of someone who's impulsive, you know? Like, I don't know. I picture a tyrant, so maybe you're having issues with like your bosses or some kind of authority figure there. I also see, okay, that you feel like you're taking on a lot of work, like the burden is all falling on you. Maybe your coworkers kind of suck at supporting you. A lot of the times it might not even be your bosses that are being shitty, it's like the higher ups that are making all these impossible demands for the people at the bottom. So maybe you're like suddenly overwhelmed with like a lot of work because, you know, someone at the top, some tyrant, some piece of shit who's not a very good leader is kind of just like piling on all this stuff. And again, you do have jealous coworkers, so it's kind of like not only are you getting a lot of, you know, what's the word, unrealistic demands, but you might also be like just experiencing like petty things that complicate your job and make you feel like you're taking on all the burden by yourself. And even if you ask for help, because that's kind of what the 10 of Wands in reverse is, it's kind of like you're asking for help and you're alleviating some of that burden, like it might not even be very much. And these two cards literally mean you want to leave but you feel like you can't. So I don't even have like a message here and a message here. It's literally, they both mean that. And so I mean, like, judging by the playing cards, I feel like it's the financial situation that's keeping you there. But again, like, is it worth the mental and possibly physical repercussions of everything that you're doing for, like, those $1 or $2 extra dollars? I don't know, depending on your job. It might be more than just that, but I don't know, like, is it worth it to you, I guess would be the question. I don't like telling people what to do, you know. Then we have the Knight of Wands in reverse. It's kind of like, and then the Knight of Swords in reverse. So the Knight of Wands warns us against impulsivity, and the Knight of Swords, it's kind of the similar situation, but it's kind of warning you, like, this is kind of like, don't react on your emotions, and this is kind of like, plan out before you act. So, you know, don't wait until it boils up and then you quit on the spot and then you don't have a safety net. So you're kind of being asked to, like, plan it out more, or to start looking into new jobs now. Just get your feet in the water, you know, look, you know, it doesn't hurt. Because it's better to have a plan than to, like, wait until it boils up and then have you, like, quit because you're just so done with everything and then not have a safety net for yourself. Although considering the current pandemic, you know, a lot of people are kind of offering a lot of jobs because no one wants to work the crappy situations, but that's neither here nor there. The point is that, you know, there's probably a job offering somewhere else that might be better suited for you. Then you have the Watery, these are the Clow cards, and the Fight. These are really cool, they're holographic, not sponsored, but if you're into the Clow cards. Anyway, the Watery is about leading with love, so you might even not be the only one who's being treated crappily. Like, I feel like... Sorry about that. I got a phone call. The watery is about leading with love, so maybe there are some people who are trying to do the same thing as you are. They're also feeling the strain of your job, and, you know, I feel like if you might even be the one to set an example, not to put that pressure on you or anything, and just kind of like, maybe you're not the only one, but also cooperation. So it's possible, you know, things are getting a little testy at work, and it's kind of like, keep that customer service attitude. Even if you're not working a customer service job, just keep cooperating. And I feel like maybe it'll make your situation easier. It could also, like, if you have, you know, a good standing with your job's employers, like if you have a good standing with your bosses right now, if you just keep up that attitude, then maybe they'll be willing to, you know, like, recommend you, or, you know, be a reference for a job application. So just keep in mind, like, those connections and cooperating. I feel like it'll work best if you do. And the fight is basically willpower. So just to keep that in mind. You have the Sun, which is like the happiest card in tarot. You have Judgment. So Judgment is your calling. It's kind of like you have a purpose, and it's probably not this job. Like I said, even if you thought it was going to be a long-term situation, like, that's not really the plan that maybe your guides have in mind. And I think to an extent you know that. Like, this is not a permanent situation. And I think this is your calling, that, like, it's time to move on, to start putting in the baby steps, looking for other jobs. And I see you ultimately being, like, happy. Again, this is the happiest card in the tarot deck, so, like, come on. You'll be happier at some other job, even if you do take a pay cut. And then lay a solid foundation. I mean, if they're not driving the point home at this, with this, it's basically... Yeah, to make sure you're not just, like, jumping into a new situation, or, you know, making a snap decision, like the first person to hire you, or the first person to, you know, that you send an application to. Like, just make sure you're kind of thinking about your options. I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments. Yeah, have a nice day. Hello, pile that's selected. Pile 2, who selected Shaoran. This is your reading. Doop doop. Yeah. So the left row will be your past situation. The middle row will be your answer. And then the last row will be contributing factors. So just gonna run through this real quick. So I see you fulfilled emotionally. I see you very graceful, and I see you having a lot of money. And I was like, are there any, like, barriers to that situation? And no, you literally got the 2 best cards for money. So I feel like you're gonna be fine financially. Career-wise, and I see you having 2 of the best cards emotionally, so you're gonna be fulfilled. You might even have, like, that Queen of Pentacles energy, that's like the working mother. You have your stuff together at home, and you have your stuff together at work. So yeah, this is new projects. I feel like they're gonna bring you in money, if that was your concern. And then you have the 9 of Spades. So that is interesting. It's like a lot of ill will, either from others, or it could be like an actual illness. And there is an image of, like, kind of the woman's mind right here. So I'm not saying you're mentally ill. I'm not a fucking psychologist to be diagnosing people out here, but maybe you've been neglecting, you know, some of your mental health, just being focused on, like, work and home. So just take care of that, or like take note of that, adjust what you need to, but I mean ultimately you're fine. So it looks like a yes, but again, depending on what you asked, I don't want to say yes, you know, so just take all the what I'm about to say into consideration and then decide for yourself if it's a yes or a no. Let's look at your tarot cards. You have the Page of Cups, Four of Swords in reverse, Page of Wands, Strength, both in reverse. And you have the Seven of Swords, Wheel of Fortune, and the Chariot in reverse. So the Page of Wands is kind of like a developing situation, especially creatively. I don't think it's emotionally, it could be, but you seem fine emotionally. Apart from that like mentally ill thing you might have to take care of. Maybe you're feeling overwhelmed, not necessarily, you know, sad, just kind of stressed. But again, like the new projects, you do have the Four of Swords in reverse. That might make a lot of sense with the stress here. It means you have to take a break. You kind of have to rest, but you don't want to. You're kind of just like going. And it's kind of a warning like, hey, stop yourself now, because if you don't, you're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna get sick. And then the world is gonna force you to slow down. So just kind of be aware of, you know, pushing yourself too hard. The Page of Wands in reverse. It's kind of like about having ideas, but not really sure how to bring those ideas into life. And you also have Strength in reverse, which makes it seem like you don't feel like you have the strength, or maybe even the power to bring those ideas into life. And you do have the Chariot in reverse down here, which is like lack of discipline. Not to subtweet anyone, but it's kind of like I don't know, maybe some of it is, you know, choosing not to work, or like choosing to be on your phone all day instead of working. Might be subtweeting myself right there. But some of it might just be like you feeling overwhelmed, like you genuinely don't have the power to do this. Maybe a little bit of imposter syndrome, but yeah, like there's something preventing you from bringing your ideas into life. And I do see a lot of ideas happening in terms of like the baby steps, but I just feel like you're not bringing them into life. But I do see good luck here, but I do see a betrayal maybe. Maybe that's what's making you hesitant. Like maybe you've brought your ideas out before and someone else stole them, or maybe because the Seven of Swords can sometimes indicate that you're getting away with something instead of someone else getting away with something. So I think again it's like imposter syndrome. Like you think you don't deserve the greatness of your ideas, if that makes sense. You do have the Wood, which is growth, and the Power, which means all aspects of your life are gonna get powered up, which is literally like the emotion and the financial, like you're doing fine. And you do have the Silent, which goes back to that Four of Swords back here, which is like to self-reflect, to kind of take the time to really analyze your situation. Not a time to be like opinionated. This is kind of a time to reflect, if that makes sense. Yeah, the Pig Spirit, which says use your mind wisely. And then you have the Lover, which is interesting because it's not the lovers in this deck of cards. So it's kind of like maybe there's some self-love issues happening. But it is also a wish card. A wish fulfillment, kind of. It's really about making a choice that makes you happy. So consider that. And then lastly, you do have strengths, even if you feel like you don't. It's definitely there. You might even have a support system in like your family or in your guides. Well, definitely with your guides. But yeah, like maybe try asking for other people's strength if you need to, but for the most part, I think it's just like a lack of self-belief. Just kind of be nicer to yourself. Self-love, and use your mind wisely. So try not to use it to, you know, talk negatively to yourself. Just kind of reflect on how to get the situation started and what's really stopping you and why do you feel this way. Maybe some shadow work, I'm not sure. If it is a mental illness situation, maybe, you know, consider getting professional help, even though I know that's not necessarily a viable option for everyone. But anyway, yeah, I hope that kind of answered your question. Clearly, I'm not, depending on what you asked, I can't answer yes or no, but that's kind of your answer right there. So I hope that was helpful, because that's what I try to be. But anyway, have a nice day. Hello to those of you who selected pile number 3 with the Moyo, or Madison, if you're familiar with the original version from the US, I suppose. Alright, so the first column is going to indicate your past contributing factors. The second column is going to indicate your answer. And then the third column is going to indicate your other contributing factor. I will say that, you know, depending on the question, I can't really answer yes or no. So I'm just going to kind of give you the overview, and hopefully that is your answer. If you know I'm clearly talking about a love situation and you didn't ask a love question, consider looking at another pile. But there might also be messages in here for you, so, you know, stick around if you want. But yeah, the answer to this one is actually funny. It's yes, but with blockages. So here we see you have kind of a financial restraint. It's like not necessarily hoarding your resources, but maybe you're not necessarily poor, I guess is what I'm saying, but like you have a set amount of money for certain things. Just because you have the 2 of spades down here, it's kind of like blocking that energy. Then here you have the Ace of Hearts, which is like family, love. It's a really nice card, but then again, it's blocked by another spade. And then here you have the 2 of Clubs, which is obstacles to success, which is already like talking about what the spades are talking about. And then you have another spade, which spades are blocks in your energy. So again, obstacles to success. You might receive financial aid depending on, you know, how bad your restraint on money is. But most importantly, the Ace of Spades is about a choice, so maybe we can look into that. Excuse me. Sorry I'm saying excuse me. I don't know if you can hear me burp or not, but I don't want to be like rude. We have the 5 of Cups in reverse, the 5 of Wands, the 5 of Cups in reverse, the 10 of Cups in reverse, the 5 of Swords. I don't want to get off screen here. We have the King of Pentacles and then the Queen of Pentacles. This is a really cute deck, but if you are not familiar with the original version, this might not be the best for you. The images don't really help. But anyway, the 5 of... Sorry, I'm just saying that because, like, usually I'm like, here in this card, you can see the man is looking very sad, and that is you looking sad. But it's like, it's literally 5 cups. Like, I can't point to anything. So we have the 5 of Cups in reverse, which is kind of like fretting on something in the past, but it's in reverse, so it's kind of like you're moving on from that energy. But then immediately after, I see a fight, like some kind of argument, some kind of conflict. And then I see the 6 of Cups, which is nostalgia but negative. So, like, instead of being reminiscent and like, oh, I remember, I don't know, my easy bake oven, instead of that, it's like, oh, that bitch wronged me. Like someone's focusing in the past, but in a negative way. And it might have been a situation that you thought you had moved on from, but it's, like, making conflict now. And you have the Ten of Cups, so here that may indicate, like, a problem in the home. Not necessarily a friend. I don't think this is a coworker situation. It might be, depending on, who clicked on this. But it really looks like it's a home situation. It's almost like an argument that maybe some nasty things were said, but I think it just may have caught you off guard in the sense that you thought it was kind of over with, like it was in the past, but this person was very much not over it. And it might be the roles are reversed. Maybe they thought you were over it and you were like, no, you clearly wronged me and didn't apologize, depending on your situation. You do have the Five of Swords in reverse though, but that means there is healing, like you guys will move on from this. You have the King of Pentacles, which is, like, good financially, but then you have the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so maybe the argument is with a masculine individual. You do have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, which means, like, maybe this home situation is taking so much attention that you're, like, neglecting your job. And maybe that might be, like, why you have a little bit of money. I don't know, like, what's going on here for you specifically, because it is a general reading, but it just seems like your work and home life are kind of out of balance right now. And this is also an indicator to self-care. Maybe you have been focusing a little too much on the situation, or, like, giving a lot of yourself to your home life, or when you're not giving yourself to your home life, you turn around and you give yourself to your work life. So it's like, where do you have time for yourself? And it's kind of like telling you to focus on that. And it might seem silly, but, like, I think it'll significantly help your situation. It won't necessarily fix your problems or make your problems go away, but I feel like when you feel better about yourself, or when you are in a calmer mind, I guess, you can kind of, like, get your thoughts out the way you want to, instead of just, like, frustrating or, like, slipping over your words like I do when I'm doing these tarot videos. Yeah, kind of like a note to take care of yourself. That might help you even without realizing it. And this combination of cards was very interesting to me. These are the Clow cards. You have the Libra, which is fairness, justice. You have the Loop. So, okay, an additional message outside of this combination might just be, like, you have connections, you're in the loop. So if you are struggling financially, like, ask your family, like, hey, do you guys have any opening positions where you work? Or, like, maybe you knew someone who is now, you were friends with this person and now they're a manager at some other job or something. Like, just consider that for your financial situation. But the Loop is about cycles, and I see fairness, and then the Twin. So the Twin is like a soulmate. I don't see soulmate the way they sell it in the media, like, oh, this is the one person you're meant to be with forever. Like, yikes, no. Maybe that's the Sagittarius in me talking, like, forever, excuse me. But the Twin, yeah, it is someone. I don't like saying soul contract, because it's not like the contracts, that we have here on Earth that are legally binding. Like, you can totally not choose to do this. You can take a different path. Like, you're not obligated to do anything just because you said something in the spirit world. But, yeah, you do have a Twin. I feel like this individual that you're getting into an argument with, you had an argument with in a past life, and there's something that you guys didn't really resolve there. And so now it's just kind of like the loop of justice. Like, it's trying to balance itself out, like whatever that situation was. You guys are gonna keep going over and over again until you can fix it. And hopefully, you know, you'll fix it now. But if not, I mean, you can't fix everything, I guess. Life is a mystery. So this card tells us to kind of surrender what we can't control. If you do believe in like a higher power, it does say to like just trust the higher power. If you don't, however, I was like, if you don't, and then I just looked at all these cards and I was like, well, then would they even believe in the past life? I don't know. Well, the point is, you're not necessarily meant to know everything, but maybe you don't even know why you keep having these freaking arguments from like the past. But your concern is not really so much like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, try your best to fix it, I guess. Don't be so concerned in like, why does this person keep bringing it up? Just it's triggering you for a purpose. Like, there's a reason you have to resolve that. And you have the Empress. Empress. Sorry, it's weird. It's because Emperor, and I'm like, I don't know if they left out the 2 S's on purpose or not, but basically that's like the mother figure. It's giving birth to new things. It gives life. It helps give growth. So just kind of keep that energy in mind. Don't do things in a destructive manner. Try your best to like make something of the situation. Even if the other person becomes completely uncooperative, you can't control what they do, right? But just try your best to be, I guess, graceful, as difficult as it may be. But again, if you take care of yourself and you feel like confident in yourself and you feel happy with yourself, then the other person's bad feelings may not cause you as much grief. Then you have Justice. So again, with the Libra over here, it's just like trying to balance it out. It's justice from whatever happened in a past life, or maybe whatever happened in the past in this life. It's just like this person's time to kind of answer for whatever wasn't properly amended in the past. So I see a yes, but with blockages, and I think it's pretty clear what the blockages are. Just remember that you can't really control everything, and to take care of yourself. I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments. Thank you. Hello to my pile that's selected. Hello to my group that selected pile number 4. With Kiro, this is your reading. Alright, so we have the first column, which is your past situation, your answer, and then your contributing factors. So the reason I say answer is because depending on how you ask your question, it might not be yes or no, you know what I mean? Like, I guess I'll explain it once I get into it. But anyway, I just want you guys to kind of take in the messages and kind of decide for yourself whether based on your question the answer is yes or no. But here we go. For the most part, I see a yes. We have the Ace of Diamonds, which is like good news, kind of like money, projects. But I do see the 4 of Swords. It's kind of like all your good stuff, physically and project-wise, are kind of blocked by the energy of the 4 of Swords, which is kind of like worrying. It could also mean you kind of need to step back from the situation, really look at it objectively, or like maybe even just separate yourself from it altogether. But I see you like worrying about something different, and it's causing you to like stop enjoying the good things that you have. You do have the 6 of Spades over here, which is small improvements. But ultimately I see you being happy. This is kind of like a happy relationship, a marriage. It's kind of like fairness. You do have the Jack of Clubs and then the Eight of Clubs. So the Eight of Clubs talks about a change of work or a jealousy at work. I'm getting the feeling, I mean, we'll look more into it in the tarot cards, but if this was about a relationship, maybe like your work was getting in the way of it, or maybe there was someone at work who was being toxic about it, getting in the way of it. Yeah, but I feel like just a separation from that job and those people might kind of allow you to clear your head over here. And then we have your tarot cards, the Kawaii Tarot. Cheap. So I see like a lack of exploration. It's almost like you're scared to start something new. I don't know where all this worry and fear is coming from. You do have okay, I'll talk about that in a minute. You have the Fool in reverse, which kind of indicates it's almost a warning to like not start something abruptly, to not start something or a journey without thinking. But I'm getting more of the sense here that it's like, because you're like scared to explore, it's almost like you don't even start the project at all. And then you have the Ace of Cups, which is, it's kind of a developing situation. It's lots of love, creativity flowing. You can't really see it from this teacup, but I promise the original image has lots of water flowing out of that cup. You have the Hermit here. So it's possible that it's in reverse. So it's kind of like, instead of being by yourself and being very meditative and being away from everyone's influence, it's almost like you're away from everyone and you're isolating yourself. It's like the negative version of the Hermit. You might even become like a little paranoid, and it's stopping you from like pursuing your goals or from like exploring, from starting new things. I feel like you kind of just have to get back into your intuition. Like how much is what's, your intuition, and how much is your paranoia, how much is your fears like stopping you. You do have the Hanged Man, which contributes to this also. It's like a new perspective. You kind of need to get away from whatever this energy is down here, which is also like the energy of the Four of Spades over here. You just have like a lot of worry, a lot of concern, again, maybe even paranoia about starting a new project for some reason. And it's just kind of like, step away from it and like really try your best to look at the situation objectively. Like, are your fears valid, or are you just not trying to invalidate your feelings, but just do. I'm sorry if you can hear that freaking ice cream truck. And they never come in the summer too. It's always in the winter. And then now that I'm recording in the summer, it's like do. Sure, sir. Of course. Also, who sells popsicles in the winter? Whatever. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so I think just a change of perspective, getting away from the situation might really help you. You have the Sweet, which is being sweet. Wow. Yeah, you have the Dash and you have the Big. So the Dash is about reaching your goal no matter what. Even if it's scary, even if you don't want to do it, even if sometimes it's not even the fear, sometimes it's just laziness. You literally have the cat. He's supposed to be dashing and he's freaking sleeping. Like, reach your freaking goal, dude, no matter what. You also have the big, which is like leveling up. It is literally the yes card. So, I mean, if this didn't answer your question, then this is literally the yes card. It's big. Yeah, it's kind of like a power-up for your situation, honestly. Like if you were playing Pokemon, it'd be a booster card, you know what I mean? Because I don't play Pokemon, but I'm sure you know what I mean. Time to collaborate. Okay, so maybe part of getting back in the groove of things might be, you know, working with others. Maybe you're scared to do things on your own, and that's okay. There is, I want to say power in numbers for some reason, but I mean, I feel like when two people work together, you guys can kind of motivate each other, and maybe that'll be more helpful than, like, you know, the overwhelming feeling of taking everything on your own. You have the Hierophant, which is about having faith. Have faith, bitch. Have faith. It's also, she literally looks like she's wearing a wedding dress, too. I mean, I don't want to say the message of a wedding, but the Ace of Diamonds can indicate an engagement ring. And then you have the Hierophant, which is like the church, you know, the original image is the Pope. And in this deck of cards, she's literally wearing like something that she has a veil. Like, she always wears giant dresses, but like here she has a veil. Like, it looks like a wedding dress. So maybe that's an additional message for some of you. But you do have the Tower. I know, everyone's favorite card. I think the Tower is not so much about destroying your marriage or destroying the power-up or destroying your collaborations. I think it's about destroying this, like, inability to trust your intuition and this paranoia, this negative side of the Hermit. And it's kind of like destroying your current viewpoint so you can get a new one. Maybe it's scary, you know, I'm not going to tell you what isn't scary. Your fears are valid. But just make sure you're not just spiraling, I suppose. Because, yeah, your fears stem from everything, and yes, they're valid. But, like, sometimes, you know, we let things get out of hand. So just consider that. It's basically a yes, but again, depending on how you phrased your question. Like, if you asked, are me and this person gonna break up? Like, you literally, you know, the answer to that would be no, so don't take it as a yes. That's why I don't want to, like, answer yes or no, but just take the reading and answer it for yourself, and hopefully that was helpful. Please tell me in the comments. Have a nice day. Hello, group number 5, who selected Spinel, or Spinal? I'm pretty sure it's Spinel. It's not relevant. Most of you don't even know this anime. I'm over here stressing over something you don't even care about. Alrighty. So here's how it's gonna work. Oh my god, I just had like the Rick and Morty court audio. If you know what I'm talking about, you know, but whatever. Okay, so the point is, I don't want to say yes or no, because depending on your question, your answer might be different, right? Like, if I got a bunch of positive cards, and your answer was, am I gonna break up with this person? You know, and I said, oh, the answer is yes. Like, it's yes because the entire thing is so positive. It's not yes because you're gonna break up with your significant other. So it's kind of like, I'm gonna answer your question yes or no, but take into account the entire picture so you can see your individual answer. Like, is it really a yes? Is it really a no? Or is it like, just take in all of the cards, if that makes any sense. So here we have your past contributing factors, here we have your answer, and here we have just contributing factors. So you basically got a yes. Alright, like and subscribe. No, I'm kidding. I'm feeling kind of hyperactive right now, and I don't know where this energy came from. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to focus now. We have the Queen of Clubs. That's like bad bitch energy. We have confident woman, strong in her shit, and look, you got the Queen. So you don't have to be a woman. It's just like a person who's very secure about themselves. And here you have a person who is very this is like confident, again, bad bitch, and this is like on top of your career and on top of your family life. So you are like, you basically have it balanced. But I do see like you're sad about something. Like your bad bitch energy, your queen energy is literally being blocked by like the 5 of Spades indicates like a depressed person. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Hold up. I am so sorry. I'm like just realizing how chaotic this reading is being right now. Yeah, so I see like depressed person. I don't even want to say energy. It literally represents a depressed person. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're clinically depressed, but maybe you had like some kind of great sadness. The 5 of Spades also indicates a breakup, and I do see an X here with masculine energy, so it's possible that like you and someone else are in separation, or you had some kind of like falling out, and it's making you sad even though like the rest of your situation looks like hella good. You even have this. The 9 of Hearts is literally the wish card. It's your freaking wish come true, my guy. But you're like not, maybe you can't even enjoy it because this dumb energy is like affecting your positive, you know, you're usually happy vibe. So we'll go over here, your tarot cards. Choop, 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 choop. Sometimes I want to say, like, you have the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. And I forget that, like, not everyone reads tarot cards. And I'm like, should I even say that? Like, does it even mean anything to the individual watching? So the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, sorry. The 2 of Pentacles in reverse indicates imbalance. Then we have the 2 of Swords, which is a decision to be made. Queen of Swords. I feel like maybe you made a decision to part ways with this individual because it was the logical thing to do, even if you didn't want to do it emotionally. And now you're kind of like ignoring your feelings. And you have the Devil card, which is addictions. But then right next to it, you have like the 3 of Cups, which is like celebration, but in combination with the Devil, it's like over partying. So like maybe you're kind of like trying to pretend that you're like over it, or you're like not upset about this by over partying, and now it's causing like addiction issues. You do have the 4 of Cups, which indicates dissatisfaction. So it's weird because you have like the wish card. I literally tried to like rein in my chaos, and then people started sending me like messages everywhere, and then I got a phone call. I'm so sorry. I'm really trying to keep it together. You have the through, which literally means you're gonna make it through. So you're fine. This isn't like a desperate situation. You clearly have a lot of happy things happening around you. You have your wish card. It's just like yeah, you're kind of like really sad and kind of ignoring your problems about that. So yeah, don't ignore them. And I think that's where that lack of balance is coming from. You're kind of like, you're upset about something and you're ignoring it, and so it's causing you to like overindulge in something else, and now it's causing like disharmony in other areas of your life, and that might be why you're dissatisfied. But the Sword is the quest for the truth, so maybe that might be like, maybe you broke up with this individual and you're not even really sure why. It could be like that's what your quest for the truth is, but it's also like a warning to like not misuse your power. And you do have the Queen of Swords over here, which sometimes it can be like, yes, it's nice that they're very logical and calculating, but sometimes the Queen of Swords can be, she's literally referred to as the cold bitch sometimes. It's rude, but maybe your inability to be in touch with your own emotions is causing you to be out of touch emotionally with other people in your life that you genuinely care about. You do have the Hawk Spirit, which says, let Spirit be your guide. If you don't believe in a higher power, then consider just like, you know, maybe, I hate to be like, meditation is the answer to your addiction. Like, if you have a serious problem, go get professional help. But, you know, for the most part, maybe you just really need to be alone by yourself with your feelings and really analyze what you're feeling and why you're feeling it. You do have death, so yeah, I feel like some kind of, I mean, clearly there was a breakup there, separation from this individual, and it's just kind of like, the death of this pattern, basically. Like, you need to really address your emotional situation. And then you have temperance, which is a good sign because that shows you're gonna get your life back into balance. But it's literally the anti-devil. I would say the devil is like addictions, and temperance is like being in balance and like having the ability to enjoy things without overindulging. So that's a positive sign. It's just, yeah, it's really a matter of dealing with whatever caused you to be really sad. If it's not a breakup situation, I still think it's like some kind of masculine figure that caused you to be upset. Yeah, I hope that was helpful. If so, let me know in the comments. Thank you. Have a nice day.